Okay, ladies and germs, Conor here from C-Dubs Media, back with another video. And it's that time of year where Oppo's releasing the X series, lots of good devices coming out. And today we're looking at the Find X5 Lite. Without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Let's go. Now, one thing I can say about the Oppo Find X5 Lite is that it is a great contender, but is it good enough to be the champ? Well, let's find out. And today I'm going to start off a little bit differently because I'm going to talk about the camera. Now, they're touting this as the portrait camera. Everywhere you look, the promo material says portrait, portrait, portrait. And how can it do that, you might ask? Well, it actually gives you 25 levels of bokeh to choose from when it comes to taking your portrait photos. So you could be everything in focus, or even your ears out of focus and just your eyes in focus, because it goes from 0.95 f-stop all the way up to f16, which in photography terms means just a very little sliver will be in focus, or everything will be in focus at f16. For those beautiful portrait photos where everything's out of focus in the background, you want that f.95. Now you can also go into the camera settings and apply a ton of AI effects to the photography. So in real world, through the camera lens, it actually looks like your face is different, your eyes are different, your skin's different. In real life experience, you look like a different person. Now that doesn't really matter for me, obviously, but for younger people it might. It's important to look your best, and a lot of people love the filters and love changing the way they look. So this camera and these settings can offer you that. And some of these features are also available in video mode as well, so you can get some really good portrait video, or some other companies are calling it like cinematic video and stuff like that. But Oppo or Oppo are calling it portrait video. Now the rear facing camera is coming in at a 64 megapixel main shooter, then an 8 megapixel ultra wide and an 8 megapixel macro. And then the front facing lens is a 32 megapixel camera and offers some really good photos as well in low light, selfies, portrait mode. You're going to be killing it because of the features that are in this camera. Now yes, it's not going to perform as good as the Find X5 or the X5 Pro, but it's certainly kicking butt in around that $700 to $800 price range. So I'm going to say in low light you get good photos, and in good light you get great photos, and it's the same with the video. Front and back cameras, really impressive. Now for the rear facing camera, you're talking about 1080p up to 120 frames per second and 4K up to 30 frames per second. So nice, clear, digitally sharpened 4K video. And then on the front facing camera, you're getting 1080p video up to 120 frames per second. It's a little bit less saturated than some of the other phones, a little bit less HDR-y than some of the other phones. I definitely like the photos in the X5 series of Oppo phones. I think you will like them too. They're not overly done, but you can edit them, or you can overdo it if you choose to. Like, that's a built-in option. I love it. Now just let me backtrack a little bit and let's talk about the build and design. It's a candy bar phone. The display is 90 Hertz. It's coming in at about 173 grams, so about 20 grams lighter than the Find X5. And you can tell the difference. You can tell it's the lower end of the two, but it's definitely not a bad situation here. It comes in two colors, and that is Starry Black and Star Trails Blue. I have the Starry Black color. I think it looks pretty good. Tell me, what do you think in the comments down below? Would you like that color, or would you go with the Starry Blue? It is a full HD display that comes in at a maximum of 800 nits brightness, so you're going to be able to see it in bright sunlight outdoors. It's, again, not as bright as some of the others, but it's definitely bright enough. Indoors, under heavy lighting, and outdoors, you will still be able to use your device. Comes in at 6.43 inches and has a PPI of 409. All in all, it's easy to hold, it's easy to handle. I can text with it one-handed. I can use it really easily and comfortably. It's not too big. I would still prefer a little bit smaller, but that's just me. It is still a good size here, definitely manageable. And it's not as slippery as the Find X5, which is a good thing. Now you do also get in the box, you get a case, you do get a charging brick and a charging cable as well. So thank you Oppo for keeping those in the box. Now, as with all Oppo phones, there are plenty of gimmicks and features within this software. I like the multitasking features within the Oppo software, like flexible windows, and one of my favorite features is double tap to wake or double tap to sleep. For me, that's just the perfect little feature. I love that. Now, I would have to say that Oppo has it right when it comes to balancing the performance with the software and the power management. I seem to get about a day and a half use out of the battery. It's coming in at 4,500 milliamp hours of battery life, and you have 65 watt SuperVOOC charging here. I think this battery charges to full in 31 minutes. That's pretty impressive. You're not going to get that in too many other devices. So 31 minutes from 0 to full, I love that. But to top it off, I get a day and a half out of it. So I don't actually have to charge all the time. Like my Pixel 6 Pro, I have to charge it by 3 o'clock to get through the day comfortably with no battery anxiety. Same with the Galaxy S22. I mean, I had to charge that one by 11 AM to get rid of the battery anxiety. Not with Oppo, I can actually get through 1.5 days of medium use. If you're a super heavy user, you might just pip out before bed, but it'd be pretty impressive if you did that, and you can charge up so quickly it doesn't really matter. Now again, I tried the Oppo X5 Lite with Genshin Impact and Asphalt 9, and I was getting some good results on both of those. It's not overly impressive. It's not the best gaming phone in the world, but I didn't have any bad experiences using it. 90 Hz does the job, but you can tell the difference when you're using a more powerful phone. But if this is all you can afford, you're not going to be missing out. You're not going to be thinking, oh, I can't game on this. You definitely can game on it. It performs well. Now, single core on Geekbench is coming in at around 700, and the Pixel 6 Pro with its own Tensor chip is coming in at just over 1,000. So a bit of a difference there in performance, but the price is definitely different as well. You're talking like $400 to $500 cheaper for the Find X5 Lite. And then multi-core on Geekbench is coming in at 2,150 or thereabouts, and also coming in about 500 to 600 less than the Pixel 6 Pro. But again, that price point is so much cheaper. It's hard to compete when you're getting so much for such a smaller price on the Oppo Find X5 Lite. It's a worthy contender for phones that cost $300, $400, $500 more. Now I know there's a lot of people out there that are just fanboys of other products. Not necessarily one product, but they'll be like, oh, Oppo, like I've heard people like this. And I think those people should probably give the Oppo devices a go. I mean, your X5 Pro, your X5 and your X5 Lite are all really good, solid performers within their budget. Once people have tried them, it's hard to knock them. But lots of people will knock them without buying them. So I think that's important to recognize that people not only get caught up in brand loyalty in one way, you can reverse that psychology and still see people like not choosing to have a phone like this because of a name or an experience from years gone by. Powering this device and this gaming is the MediaTek Dimensity 900 chipset, and then you have the Mali G68 MC4 or something like that. So that's good, solid silicon, mid-range and good enough. It definitely performs fine. I don't feel the phone overheating. I don't feel any problems with this phone when it comes to performance, multitasking, gaming, camera, recording video. It performs amazingly for this price. So I'm going to say, if you need a phone that can multitask, that doesn't break the bank, consider the Find X5 Lite. If you need a phone that can take good portrait shots, consider this phone. If you need a phone that's going to get you through a day and a half use, consider this phone. If you need a phone that can do good, solid gaming experience without spending $2,000, consider this phone. This is my review of the Oppo Find X5 Lite. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you appreciate my honesty, and I will catch you in the next video. Check out.